My favorite extensions. My all-time favorite extensions. That's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be going over she hair extensions. It's been asked about us. We've been teasing about it. Everybody wants to know about it, and y'all been patiently waiting about it. Bernard, where are you at, buddy?
Oh, I'm here. I'm here. I thought the colorful hair was way more interesting than me, so I thought
Okay.
maybe I thought I'd start with a colorful beginning. And on my little phone screen, you're so tiny I can barely see you.
I'm real
So,
tiny today.
so I gotta admit, you didn't sound real excited about she hair there. It almost sounded like you were reading a script. And I know you, I know Eddie, and I know she hair. And I started a new line, and Eddie jumped on board shortly after with the onstage hair extensions. But it was hard for me to get Eddie over because he loves she hair so much. In my onstage hair extension classes, he's still selling people in my class that are calling me from the airport. I think I'm going to get on that she hair thing. I'm like, you just left an onstage class. What happened? Oh, I saw Eddie in the airport on the way home.
Yep.
So you are a little more excited about she hair than you sound today. Maybe you're tired or something. Or
No,
read the
you know what
script.
it is? It's like
What is it?
you teased me last week. We've been talking about it the week before. This is like the yeah, I just had a great steak. I'm about to this is I love this stuff, you know?
Right, right. So, I mean, I made a little bit of a list myself. I even had my office assistant put this stuff together on this table here. I'm not even sure if you can see everything. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
we've got the tools, the coloring, the fantasy hair, and my assistant wanted to let everybody know. Yes, we know you're not all certified, and you can get certified in this technique. I'm just going to say it up front. We're going to talk about why it's our favorite, how we love it. But she said, make sure you tell people that might be watching that are certified, and yes, I'm reading some notes over here, that in June and July, we have 10% off all fantasy hair. A lot of kids get it during the summer. And if somebody wanted to get certified, we're running a promotion right now that you can get all the tools that you need for $497.
Hey, that's awesome.
I wanted to put that out front real quick. Didn't know if you knew about the promotion, but on top of that,
The
why is she hair your favorite?
the only promotion that I was aware of is we get to buy you a coffee promotion. What is what is that promotion?
Look, I
There's-
forgot about that. Actually, I'm drinking coffee now. Have you heard of Patreon?
We got a Patreon. Wow, we actually hit that milestone. We can have a Patreon now. It's about freaking time.
So Patreon is a way that you can ask people to donate a little money towards your cause, kind of thing. It's an old-fashioned thing that happened back in the day when artists didn't sell their paintings for much, but people would pay them or give them money because they didn't have mass production of art. So to get art out there, people would support artists. They would get together and give them a little bit of money. And I don't know the exact history on it, but it's something to do with the art community to keep the art going because it was so much more limited and they didn't pay as much as we do for today for some real fancy stuff. So Patreon was kind of a throwback to that. Like,
Cool.
hey, you like what your creators are doing on YouTube or Instagram or wherever? Give them some money. It could be so little to so much. It could be a one time. It could be a monthly. Well, Buy Me a Coffee is another app similar to Patreon, and I love it because I love coffee. I mean, I totally forgot we're doing that today, and I'm usually drinking water, but I'm literally drinking a coffee today. I forgot that my business partner told you to talk about that today. So Buy Me a Coffee, we're going to put in the description below. We need you guys to show us that you like our videos. Please hit like and subscribe because it's crazy how many people watch this but don't subscribe. And we can get out to more hairdressers out there because YouTube will say, oh, a bigger percentage of your audience actually like and subscribe, describe, whatever. So let's show it to more people that fit this profile. So if you would hit subscribe and like, it helps us out a lot. And if you really love this stuff, buy me 3 coffees and Eddie, maybe
three coffees. Okay. All right.
think
Well,
it has something to do with the amount of money. We're really new to this. I'm not even sure exactly how it works. I think it's just you say you're buying a coffee, but really it's just giving a certain amount of money so that I can use it on coffee. Because I'm sure I'll spend more on coffee than people are actually going to give
yeah, right.
anyway.
God forbid we use it on production or something. No, wait. Let's buy Bernard coffee. So
There's
that's
no
awesome.
production without coffee.
Well,
Why do you love tea? Tell me. Why do you love it?
So here's my story. This is the craziest thing. Can I tell a quick story, or is it going to be kind of goofy?
No. I mean, it's probably going to be goofy, but go ahead.
So it is a goofy story. So as it goes, the first time with extensions, at the salon, Darren comes over and he goes, "Hey, have you guys do extensions?" I'm like, "Yeah, we play with it a little bit for stage work and stuff like that. Not really the big deal. I usually have the assistants do it. I don't care. I don't have time for that." Well,
Right.
within that same week, coincidentally, girl comes up to me, one of the models, and she says, "Hey, I like you. Hey, I like you too. Blah 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 blah." And would you do my extensions? And here's me trying to show off. Mind you, I was in my early 20s back then, right? I didn't know nothing about nothing. So all I know was I was excited that a model's talking to me.
Right.
I was new in the show
Right.
in the show side of stuff. So I'm like, yeah, sure, I could do it. So here's me. I got to go learn how to do extensions real quick. Well, just like so many stylists were like, I'm a perfectionist. Well, I got so frustrated because I couldn't roll the bonds. I got so frustrated, I literally threw the machine at the wall and busted my machine. And then
It's
my
not
uncle...
that simple, is it?
What? No, but then my uncle was like, that was $1,000 machine you just busted, you little son of a... And I'm like, yeah, take it out of my check. Don't ever bring me extensions ever. I will never touch them ever again. This sucks, right?
Right.
Fast forward 2 weeks. That model, she goes and get her hair done by somebody else. They goof it up. She comes to me and she goes, "Look, my hair is ruined. What am I going to do? I'll pay anything. I'll do anything to get my hair fixed." Well, I hear anything. She goes, "Anything. I need to learn how to do extensions right now."
Right now.
So,
Funny little side story to your story right now. You're reminding me of a story back in the day. Miley Cyrus's, I think it was her first head of extensions ever. Do you remember when she posed she didn't show everything, but she posed mostly nude on the cover of some magazine.
oh yeah.
But at the time, she was working for Disney, so they got really mad. And she was all covered up, but she had to go into hiding and staying with mom and dad. And at this time, I didn't listen to country music, so I didn't know who Billy Ray Cyrus was at the time. But I had this guy call me from Tennessee, and he says, "Bernard, I saw that you teach hair extensions." I said, "Yeah. Our next class is," he goes, "I don't care when your next class is. I need to learn this weekend." I said, "Wait, what?" Mm-hmm. He said, "Last time I cut Miley's hair on the compound because she can't go anywhere. They got her laying low for 3 months so that the media can forget about her nude stuff. I'm going to do Miley's hair. She asked me the last time I cut her hair, hey, next month when you come to cut her hair, can you bring hair extensions and do it?" And he said, sure. He had never done them before. So he paid me extra and said, "Listen,
oh, nice.
Yeah, he's like, "Can I come this weekend?" So it was literally sold a class on a Thursday. He flew in on Friday, taught him on Saturday or Sunday, I don't remember. And he flew right back home and it did Miley's hair a few days
Oh, that's
later.
awesome. See, but that's what it is. Because when I opened my shop, and when I first started in this industry, my specialty was hair color. I didn't start with hair cutting and styling and updos and all that stuff. I did, hair color. So all of a sudden, I start learning how to do hair extensions. It blew my mind because it exploded how much more things I can do with hair color. So much, like the options and the opportunity. I quickly saw the creative side of this thing within 2 seconds. The money, I didn't realize the profit margins and the money in this till way later. I got my paycheck from, I'm writing myself payroll, and I'm thinking, I goofed something up in payroll. I made a big mistake. We're way over. So I call my mom, and I'm like, "Mama, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know how to count." She goes, "Yeah, you can't get yourself a calculator, kid." So I take it home. I show her my numbers. She goes, "Where'd you get all this money from?" I'm like, I don't know. Turns up to be it's the extensions. So I'm like, oh, I love this, love it, love it, love it, and I've been
you
sold
bring
ever
up a
since.
great point. I got this whole board of notes to make sure I don't forget anything. Do you know everything on my table and all my notes? None of it brings up the amount of money you can make with hair extensions. That's a good point, because the money, it changes. I mean, it does. And just like you, I didn't get into it for the money right at first. I mean, I did a lot of things for the money, but most hairdressers don't get into extensions for the money. It's more like you said, it's the creative options. You can do more. You can change more. Like when Miley says, can you do my extensions next week? You're like, sure, that guy didn't even hesitate. Paid a couple $1,000 to come learn. He knew the money would be there, but he didn't want to say no. He wanted to please the client. He wanted to do something creative. And that's what I love about these fantasy colors here. I mean, we've got, how many colors? 172
It's up to 172 now. Yeah, I mean, it's just insane. Well, it's because it's not just the colors either. You got the textures. You've got the different categories within all those colors as well, with the balayage, the ombre, the chatouche. What am I forgetting? The coffee,
buy me a coffee. Who will be the first ever to buy me a coffee? I've never had a coffee bought for me. This is going to be fun.
So the first person that buys you a coffee, you got to go have it with them.
Yeah.
We'll put them up on stream. We'll put them on the stream with us, and we can drink one with them.
All right. I was thinking that's going to be an expensive coffee to apply. Look, we got these razors in recently, too. I'm loving these razors. I mean, the one hole in the middle, one side's a comb, one side's a razor. You can spin it around really quickly. We've got a lot of people don't really know about how our product works. So let me just bring this up here. It is a heated product. And one of the things I want to mention is that I wrote it somewhere around here. I want to make sure I cover everything. We call it a heated, hot, melted, but it's the lowest heat setting in the market. When this tool is on that heats up that keratin bond, I literally clean the excess keratin off of here with my finger like this and like that, and it doesn't burn. It's a very low heat setting, but it does heat and melt a keratin bond. And I will just really quickly, right up front, say the one big negative that a lot of people are going to bring up because it's out there. People say, why would you use that when you can use an I-tip or a bead or a tape-in or all these other techniques? I kind of want to go into that real quick, because I sell a beaded technique and the She Hair Keratin Bond, and we love them both. They both have their place. For one thing, technically, you can do a lot finer work. You can do some teeny tiny work. A heated, folded in or rolled bond, whether it's a flat bond or a round bond, I'd love you to bring up those pictures, will stay in much longer than any I-tip, any bead, any tape. We say 3 or 4 months, I mean, is what we kind of recommend. But I've literally had clients that come in every 7 to 9 months regularly, and we will take their extensions out and put them back in. I'm not saying it's pretty at 7 to 9 months. It's grown out like
that's really grown out.
Yeah, it's a little dreaded above the bond, but they've literally lost 1 or 2 out of 150 strands in 7 or 8 months. They come in with roots this long too that need to be done, and I'm thinking, I thought you did extensions to be prettier. It's got to be some kind of security blanket because they're not so pretty anymore with roots like this, dreads at the roots, but the extensions are still there. So forget about all those other things. It is a security blanket. It makes them feel better about themselves. They've got a lot of hair. It's a mess, but they got a lot of hair. They feel good about it. Some people, I personally love a little messy hair. I love that wild, crazy hair. Not stinky, dirty, but I like messy hair. And so, I mean, just the fact that it stays in so long more than anybody else, that's a fact that nobody else can beat. And it stays in better than all the other keratin bonds. That's why I still love it. I would say number one. Would that be your number one reason? Do you have like a number one reason you like it over all the rest? That's a question
I like the customization. I love the bonds. The bonds themselves are the perfect size. They're not too big. They're not too small. You can cut them a little bit. Hello.
You got
Thank you, Richard. Hey, Bernard, say thank you to Richard. Richard just bought you your first coffee.
What? Thank you, Richard.
Thank you,
Somebody
Richard.
bought me coffee.
He
It was
just bought
one
you
or
your first
two or
coffee.
three.
Say
Was
again?
it one, two, or three?
Your first.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It only takes one to be first.
So the thing with the She bonds,
Show the bonds.
They're
You've got to pick.
yeah, actually. Let me see.
So
let me put it up on
there's
screen
a
here.
bond.
Hold on a
And
second.
I mean, yeah, you look at that, and it might look big or small or whatever. But I'm going to grab one off of this little table right here and put it up against my finger so you can see. So here's a strand, and I'm going to put my finger behind it so you can get an idea of the size of the keratin bond.
Yeah, I usually say it's like a pinky nail. If you look at your pinky nail, it's about that small.
Or it is. Maybe even a little smaller. I got some big hands.
You got
but
big
yeah,
hands.
Right. And then we customize that bond. That's what I love. Like you said, the customization. That's my number 2 reason for liking this technique is that we cut it down to make it smaller, more invisible. But then you can cut it in half or thirds or fourths and make this turn into 2, 3, or 4 pieces. And you have so much more.
Well, that's my favorite thing about it. Absolutely, is that like because you could see it. You can see the bond I put up on screen, right?
Yes.
So I literally cut it down all the way to the bottom line closest to the hair. I cut 3/4 of it off or 2/3 of it off. So I leave them that small, the bond. And by the time I fold it over, do the flat wrap technique and lock it in, it's seamless. Like you cannot feel on the head. You can barely feel anything on the head. And everybody tells me every single time it's the most comfortable thing ever. And I just love the way you can customize the entire look. It don't matter how thin or fine the hair is. It doesn't matter how thick or full the hair is. You can create anything for anybody with it.
You're right. The flat bonds. I remember when we were on stage and they were asking us to introduce the flat bonds at the New York Hair Show today. Wait a minute. We just learned this morning. Right. That's how it works in the hair world, guys, as educators. They come up with something new. They tell you the last second and you go out there. And then I went home and did it for a month or two and hated it. And then I quit. Next year at the show, they made us do it again. When I went home, I did it a few more months, and then I loved it and did it again. So I get some people still love rolling it. It is fast and easy to just roll that hot thing.
Yeah.
Roll, let go. Folding it is a little more challenging, but you're right. If you fold it and flatten it out, it's like you can rub your hand against the head, and you cannot tell they're there. They're so freaking invisible to the touch.
Here's a question for you from Richard again.
Okay.
You kind of talked about this a little bit, but we need to address it directly a little bit more in detail. He says, I saw the weft video. What's a better alternative to tape, the wefts or the strands?
That is a good question.
That's a good question.
You want to go first? What do you think?
So
and it doesn't have to be the same answer.
We probably are going to end up with the same answer. I'm going to say this way. The onstage weft, get a weft, and when you flip it around, I wish I had one with me right now. You flip it around, and it's got little purplish, reddish tick marks on it every, what is that, like 2 1/4 inch wide?
It's 1.5 inches.
Okay. 1.5 inches. So you get 8 perfect, same identical size pieces, and it's the same size of a of a tape.
A tape
extensions. Yep. So there you go. Now
that would have to be my first go-to answer also, is that you can quickly cut it on those little bluish purplish marks, and you can easily put it in and take it out and reuse it with a lot less sticky gooey mess that tape ends have. But you can also put I tried to do the math one time, and it looks like about four of these keratin strands are about the same size as a tape in, and you can put them in little 4-piece groupings. Mm-hmm. But I would say the onstage weft, because it's flatter, or the strands, flat strands, would both be good. Now, obviously, maybe it's not obvious. The keratin strands, you're going to pay. It's almost like the premium, the more expensive car for a reason. both cars, the real high end car and the real low end, they both get you where you want to go, but there's some luxury you pay for when you pay a little more. And with She Hair, it's going to be the luxury brand. It's gonna perform better. It's not gonna tangle as easy. So many things about it are going to be better. A lot less complaining customers, but it's going to take a little longer to do because you got to heat it. You got to heat your machine up. You got to fold it, and then when it comes out, you can only donate that hair to wig companies or throw it away. There's no reusing the hair, and that's the only downside. But it lasts so much longer. Sometimes it lasts long enough to outlast 2 or 3 sets of other people's hair.
Mm-hmm.
So that you got to consider if you're going to go from a tape in, which to me is, I don't know. I just think tape ins are the low end, easy to go to, lazy extension to use because it's just such a thick, heavy thing on such a thin amount of hair that they can be damaging. They're always a sticky, gooey mess. And then within the tape in range, there's super high end, super low end. And we sell some tape also, and it's a higher end tape. Mm-hmm. But people that want tape don't want higher end tape, usually.
No, they just want the tape because it's reusable and it's cheap, and that's what they want. So here's a follow-up question.
Yes.
I lost 2 clients to a stylist that does She. Would they be happy with wefts, or should I learn She?
Definitely learn She.
So I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to go with Bernard. She. I mean, well, look.
And maybe he wasn't on when we started off in the beginning and said that we have the teachable online classes for $497. So
yeah,
you can get taught through Teachable for $497. Get the flat magic, the coloring, the keratin cutter, remover tool, protective disc, remover solution. Yeah, I'm looking at my list. Online certification.
I know, I'm going through my mental
you get a whole lot of stuff for that $497. And then if you wanted to buy any of these fantasy strands, just remember June and July, 10% off. Amber wanted me to tell everybody. I mean, you just can't beat the amount of colors, how long they stay in, how well they last, and then the customization.
And the customization that you could do with it. And in all fairness, that's both of ours personal answer. I would be remiss if I didn't say also it's situational at the end of the day. You got to do what you're comfortable with, and there's a client and a product out there for everybody, and there's a price point for everybody out there as well too. Okay, right. I love the She. The strands are just king. They're the top of the food chain. But if you have a diehard tape client, and their mindset is dead set on that, then the weft is going to be the closest alternative to that client if they're not ready to step up and become a bond client, a keratin.
So in our salon the other day, in the on-stage hair, we stock a slightly wavy hair. We call it natural body. Then there's a more wavy called body wave, and then deep curl. So a hairdresser the other day said, I've got this client with wavy hair. I think it's a little wavier than the hair we have. I'm going to have to special order that wavier hair. I said, or do She hair, because we have in stock straight, wavy, and our straight's a little wavy. We have straight, which is a little wave, pretty wavy, and curly hair in stock that you can get overnighted anywhere in the country right away. So that is a huge benefit too. It's just being able to get the 3 different textures and a lot of the colors still. The curlier you go, some of the colors in the coloring are going to be left out, but almost every color in straight and wavy. And then the most exciting thing is that this manufacturer, the She manufacturer, is pretty much an artist himself. Antonio DiBiase loves the color game. And so he just keeps coming out with new colors faster than might even be necessary. And he doesn't seem to throw any away. And that's why we have so many colors. And then he puts them together in some trendy mixes to help the stylists out. Rooted, ombre, balayage, chartreuse. There's so many. I'm reading my list here just so I wouldn't forget any. I know there's more, but those are so much fun, don't you think? And then the blended colors, you got one in the picture.
Those are so much fun too, because then you got the blended colors. And the thing that I've been doing is, somebody will call me up and say, I have a client, they're in between this and this, right? So I tell them, well, why are you trying to fight it? Just order both and alternate. Do one solid color, do one mixed color, or do a mixed color and a balayage color, or do a rooted with a chatouche. Like you can create amazing ombres, amazing balayages, amazing highlights so quickly, so easily. That's the beautiful thing about all the different blends. Also, the thing that we always forget to talk about is the lengths that they come in as well. You got you got short, 14-inch. You got the regular length. Well, we call it the regular length. That's just what everybody mainly orders.
Right, we call it long.
Long, 18 to 20 inches, and then you've got the what's the stripper hair called? Well, what's the proper name for the stripper hair?
Extra long.
Extra long.
It's got a real hard name to remember. Extra long.
Extra long. I mean, look, it's 26 to 28 inches. Okay, so you got 3 different lengths. What people don't understand, by the time you put them in, 14, 16 inches is about top of the shoulders, collarbone. By the time you get the long, 18, 20 inches, that's right underneath your boob, right? That's that bra strap, that magical length of being long enough to cover up, but you could still walk around topless and still be covered up.
That's right. Like Lady Godiva.
Yeah, right? And then extra long, the freaking thing is down to your belly button or to your waist, depending on how tall or short you are.
Right.
You look like Cousin It from the Addams Family.
On your torso. Some people are sitting on their hair at that length, some are not. You're right. Yeah, I forgot about the length. You're right. And that is a big difference with the onstage hair. The longest it comes is, 22 inches? Yeah, and the she hair comes, is it 24 or 28? I forget.
26 to 28.
26, okay. So, right. And listen, guys, that's something we should talk about, something you just brought up. When we give in 2 different lengths, why are we saying that? It's because it's natural at the ends. Mm-hmm. You know, I say natural, but I want to admit, I came from long ago when the only hot keratin bonded technique was in this country. It was Great Lengths. They came first, and then there was a couple other companies that kind of came along or tried to copy, and then a company called SoCap came that eventually changed their name to She Hair. And so our She Hair company was actually around before Great Lengths in Italy. It's just that Great Lengths came to the U.S. first, got the market share first, got the notoriety. Then She Hair comes behind them, and people didn't know about them for a while. Then we had more colors, more wavy curly. One of the big differences when I was moving from Great Lengths to She Hair was the ends. Great Lengths was cut really blunt. She Hair was all different lengths at the end. And the very first thing I thought was, the very first thing as a hairdresser, you look at it and it looks like it's thinner, because it does look like a thinner bottom. And I thought thinner must be lower quality. And so right at first, I thought, oh no, this She Hair is not going to be as good. Well, then it starts to perform just as well. I put it in and I noticed it was a lot easier to do the haircut. It was already blending. Whereas when I put Great Lengths hair in, it looked so choppy and fake that it was like, okay, I'm starting to appreciate these natural ends. Mm-hmm. I didn't think I would at first. Now, I don't like it when hair is cut too blunt. When people say, double drawn, triple drawn, that's not necessarily better hair. Mm-hmm. That means they're taking the short hairs out. We just had a video about shedding. People lose hairs and regrow them. So you always have different lengths in your hair. That's what makes hair look natural, is to have you don't want double drawn, triple drawn hair. You don't want all the short hairs taken out. Now, some companies try to put short hairs in to save money, add weight with cheaper, shorter hair. And that's a whole nother manipulation strategy story to talk about later. But with She Hair, that's not the case. They're using 2 or 3 different lengths so that the ends look more natural and it blends. So many times I would take a whole salon full of hairdressers back when the show days were big, and I would do 4 or 5 of the hairdressers' hair that were coming to assist me on stage. And I'd say, listen, guys, we're not cutting anybody's hair till we get on stage, and some of you won't get cut all weekend. I want to show people that if you put them in the right pattern, if you put them in curved shape patterns following the hair design, the way it comes out of your head, it'll almost look like you went from a shaved head to grown out to 20 inches of hair, and never got a haircut, and it blends fine.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did that. Those ends, if put in correctly, because like you said, something about where it falls, but that's if you put it in here, it falls here. Or here, I should say. And if you put it in a little higher, it falls a little higher. The head itself is a good 6 inches tall. And so it already, if you're putting hair in layers, is going to be naturally layered at the bottom. And then if you curve your lines, you're going to have nice curves down at the bottom. So I get pretty passionate about placement.
That is, look, color's my thing, placement's your thing, right? I have a question for you, Bernard.
Yes.
You said the promo for this month is $4.97 on the Profitable Stylist?
So we are, well, I don't know how long the $4.97 is running, but yes, $497 to get certified right now.
Okay.
But the promo that we're doing just for June and July is 10% off of fantasy hair. So some of you guys are already certified and you're just looking for what do we have on sale right now so you can get some more of it. Listen, a lot of schools don't allow the kids to go back to school during school with fantasy, wild, crazy colors in their hair. So a lot of kids, we do a lot of kids in our area during the summer so they can just kind of get in touch with their crazy fantasy side for the summer. And it's an easy pop it in. It lasts a month or 2 or 3, depending on how active the kid is. Sure, that that chlorinated water might bleach it out a little bit. But by the end of the summer, if it hadn't fallen out, we can remove it and we didn't alter their hair with bleach or color. And they don't get in trouble going back to school with bleached or colored or red or green hair.
All right.
So I know that was way more than you asked for, but did that cover your question?
No, because I'll have to call the Academy. It's still listed at $5.97 because that's the standard price for it. So the Academy hasn't updated the promotion yet.
I hope Amber wrote it right. Well, they're going to have to make it $4.97 now that we did.
Because we've been talking about it for the past minutes. So, yeah. So the other thing I want to do is I want to talk about the technology of the applicator tool and the unit and the machine.
Okay.
Because that's something that a lot of people challenge me. A lot of stylists challenge me. And they always say to me, oh, it doesn't matter how you put it in. You're melting the bond anyways. You just got to heat it up. And I have one of these handhelds. It does just fine. Well, then I go into the discussion with them and they say, yeah, whatever. 2-3 weeks later, they're calling me up and they're saying, hey, the bonds are falling out. The bonds are shedding. Hey, this is happening. That's happening. Right. I think I need to buy that machine. I think I need to get your unit that you're talking about, you know? So I want to spend a couple of minutes to go over the difference between warm fusion, hot fusion, and why it matters, why it makes such a big deal. And I know you got a unit by you, so I want you, while we're talking about it, you can display it so we could show some of the features that they're talking about as well too, So that's the unit right there. That is by itself controlling all the heat. That is going to cycle and maintain a proper temperature consistently the entire time. Sometimes with the handhelds, you plug them into the wall, they're starting to generate and build up that heat. If you don't tap it to a towel real quick, you're going to freaking burn yourself or you're going to burn the client. The tool that Bernard's showing right now, that's the handheld tool. That's the applicator tool. All that's doing.
This is the applicator for the that machine right there.
For the unit, that machine right there, right?
Yeah, I just don't have it plugged in.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So that plugs into the side of the unit, how Bernard was talking about. The other thing I want to mention is there is a power switch on that wand right there that Bernard's got in his hand. There is also a power switch on the back of the unit. So my favorite phone call is somebody will buy the machine, somebody will buy the unit, they'll call up and they'll say, hey, I plug this thing, I turn it on, but it says off. It's blinking the word off on the display over there, right?
Right across here, yeah.
Thank you, Vanna White. So when it's blinking the word off on there on the unit, it's because the power switch on the wand is still off. You gotta toggle the power switch on the wand.
It's because it's off.
Right.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, there might be a delay here.
It's very technical there.
You're welcome. Yeah, that's the technical word for when it says off, it is off. No, I know. We get that call too. I wish they didn't have the 2 power switches. It's almost seems silly, but it's there. And sometimes your finger will bump it and it'll say off inside there. But going back to what you're saying, I'm actually dealing with a couple of girls in another state. I won't mention their names right now, that are having problems with some shedding. And I talked to them about it. I asked my office manager, I said, pull all the hair that these girls have worked with. Let's put it on the counter and let's see. And so the first thing we did was I took the package of hair like this and I made a video and I held all the hairs tightly here and then pulled my hands along the hair like that. And look, I got two hairs. And so if the hair is not coming out right now, it shouldn't come out later either. But if you do a bad technique, that's when you start having some problems. So that's why we have the education. I mean, heated keratin bonds are not as simple as a tape-in. That's why tape-ins have gained popularity, but they stay in longer, they stay better if they're done right. You can still even do tape-ins wrong. You can do these wrong. Mm-hmm. These have they're a little more expensive, so you don't want to do it wrong. There's no easily reusing them. You have to replace them. So when you hold on to the hair underneath that keratin bond that I've got here, I just made a video. I'm doing some editing, and I'm going to post it soon. When you hold this hair right here and you heat this bond up, you have to do your folding or your rolling before you ever let go with this hand, because this hand is what's holding all that hair in. But too many stylists heat that bond up, and then when they put the tool down, they do their little folding here. They slide their fingers and then grab the hair with the other hand. Whoops, it's not connected to a head, so it's harder. And then fold this side, and then slide their fingers down, and then switch. So they slide and switch. And when you're sliding, you're pulling hair out of a heated, soft bond that's holding all of these hairs in. So you've got to be the support. So, yeah, I get a little passionate about technique also, because I always use that 3-legged stool scenario. It's either you and me as the hairdresser, the manufacturer, or the client. Those are the 3 areas we're looking for when things are messed up. Out of the 5 or 6 colors that those stylists were talking about the other day, there was one that was shedding out of the package. We found the lot number. 3 different lots of hair, 1 lot shedding more than the rest. And so we said, you know what? We're going to pull that. I'm glad they called. We found one. But they had problems with 4 or 5 others. I said, send me a video of you doing an install. Let's rule you out also. They're sliding their hands. They're heating it. They're doing their rolling. And then they're petting the hair. And it's difficult. I love to pet hair also. As hairdressers, we want to touch hair. I know.
Anything soft needs to be petted. Needs to be touched, right?
Well, yes, I get it. But you got to let go and let it cool and dry and harden so that it grabs all that hair and there's no shedding. Go ahead. Your turn.
So I was about to start talking about the education, and we're getting another question, which is a perfect segue, because I was just about to start talking about the education directly. Question is, can you really learn online? People get nervous sometimes. And I can understand people get nervous sometimes because you're trying to watch a video online. You can learn online. Everybody has their speed. Some people are better in person with hands-on. Some people are comfortable visually with being able to see what they're trying to do, right? So the one thing I will say is simply this. I'm going to be bold, and I'm going to say nobody can match the level of education that we provide. I have not been to one freaking company who can provide the dedication and the amount of help that we go out of our way to do. I'm going to be that bold and say that. Fair point. So Bernard's videos on the Profitable Stylist that he's created, it's not one 20-minute video. It's an entire series. It's a bunch of segments of clips that go through the entire process and breaking it down step by step by step. So when you're getting the online education, you're getting multiple modules that you're going to get to go through. Now, Let's say, for the sake of conversation, you go through the whole thing and you still have questions. Call us up, contact us. I'm telling you,
Yep.
the amount of phone calls that we get a week is amazing. I love the dedication from our groups. That's why we created the Profitable Stylists. That's why we created the private groups on the Facebook. It's why we do what we do with these lives all the time, is so we can be connected with you guys, because we appreciate how passionate you guys are. I wish you wasn't all allergic to making money, but besides that, I mean,
But we do both. But we do both.
yeah,
So,
we do live. I mean, we do hands-on too. And I've had, look,
Right.
Monday, I just had somebody who took the online class, and then they came in on Monday just to do a little review. They had a couple of questions. I had a person last month took the live class and said, "Can I sign up for the online? I wanna just always watch something to have as a refresher, kind of like a manual type of thing." So both
Right.
work.
Right. And for me, I about every other month, maybe every month, depending on what I'm teaching, I teach both, all the extension techniques, but the beaded weft, the beaded strands, the keratin bonds, the beaded topper.
And the
But we
toppers,
also
yeah.
teach hair replacement. And we mix some of these up, and we've been doing them at our location in Slidell, Louisiana, which is right near New Orleans. Some people are enjoying coming to the New Orleans area. The mask mandate is very low down south. A lot of the southern states are kind of past it, over it. I don't know if it's the vaccinations are enough or what, but I mean, even like Florida, no more masks at all in that area. So we're in Louisiana. People are enjoying coming down south. They're like, "Oh my God, I can actually not wear a mask out in public. This is really weird." So it's been a lot of fun to have people in down here. But the main reason is I'm scheduling on a Monday and a Tuesday, because our salon and our hair replacement studios open on Tuesday, and I do it on purpose. So on Monday, we learn whatever technique it is we're decided to learn, and I purposely, weeks before, schedule clients, if we don't already have any, with those services on Tuesday, so that the class attendees can assist, help, watch, learn, whatever it takes, whether it's in the private hair replacement rooms, on the salon floor, putting a beaded topper on, putting extensions in, and they've got the hands-on experience. And yes, we always give them, for an added value, the free online education to back up the in-person. But many people do online and do fine with it. You're right, it's not for everybody, but the best thing to do is at the end is to put whatever in, do whatever, have a friend video it, and send the video to me or Eddie. And it's amazing what we can critique and help and say, "Oh, if you would just hold your hand a little closer to the head, you've got too much hair in your hand, you got too little hair in your hand, you need a wider, deeper, thinner section." There's a lot that we can help critique just by watching a video of you doing a little bit of what you learned. And then, of course, like you said, we're always willing to support through Facebook Messenger, a phone call, a text, any kind of way you want to get in touch with us.
Whatever median. I'm up in Chicago, as many of you know. So I've been teaching, I've been following the Monday, Tuesday program like how you have down in Louisiana. I've also been doing Sunday, Mondays for, depending on, I customize a lot of stuff. So it's, I have the standard dates set up on our calendar and on our schedule, but we've also been doing custom dates as well too. Some people, that date just doesn't work out for them. And like how you were saying earlier, they don't want to wait. They want to come in right this weekend, right now, and get it done, right? Well, if you're willing to do it, I'm willing to work it. So, come on over and we'll hang out and we'll get you settled, or get you sorted.
So I was just looking at all my table stuff and all my notes, make sure I covered everything. I think we covered everything. I mean, Amber would love me to cover more. She thinks this is a class. She wants me to tell you all about the removal solution, the 4U products, the what products you should use at home, what we use in the salon. And I said, that comes in the class, Amber. It's a very good presentation on my table, but we don't need to cover
show
all
off
of
the table one more time for Amber, just for Amber.
We don't have to go over all of that. Let's see if I can move over out the way a little bit. We got the nice poster. We got extras if anybody wants any for their salon.
So you got the heat shields, the 2-tier brush, the remover tool.
The pressing tool for some people that want to do the flat bond. Oh no, that's the removal tool. I'm sorry. The snips, brushes. The coloring was in this box. We've got the coloring there, razors. some hair fell off the wall, so I just kind of stuck it to the side.
I will say the remover solution, you got gel and you got liquid.
Yep.
Some people have a preference in consistency. That's all it is.
This happens to be the favorite clip in the world.
I know.
This little, isn't it? It's like people, did you know how much people love this clip?
I use those in class, and everyone's like, "Where'd you get those from? Where'd you get those from? I want that. Can I have that?"
Except from us. They've got like a matte, almost tacky finish, so they don't slip. They're pretty strong for a little clip, but I'm going to destroy one. I'm going to show you how light. Oh shoot! I almost knocked the whole camera over. This is like, I'm going to destroy one, and Amber's going to kill me for it. But it's a very light, flimsy clip, but it's super strong. But it's so skinny and thin. I mean, you can destroy it if you want to and have a whole lot of fun with it. But it's that customizable. But, I mean, you buy them, and they work so well. We sell this. I don't even know how many this is. But look, I
think it's 2 dozen. I think it's 24 of them.
Is that what it is?
12 or 24.
People love these and our tail comb because of I remember John always wanted my tail comb after.
He steals every show I do with him. He steals one of my tail combs.
He loves them for foiling.
He loves them for foiling because the metal tail part of it is longer, and it's got a little textured grip to it too.
You want to see my notes? I got this whiteboard from Home Depot.
All right.
Every time Eddie and I talk on the phone, I'm coming or going from
Home Depot.
All right, I got to take the kid to karate today, so we got to wrap this up.
And I got to get to the salon and do clients.
Guys.
Yeah, I got to do clients. All right, so buy Bernard a coffee.
Another one.
I always tell everybody, Richard, I appreciate your comments. I appreciate everybody else's comments after these videos and in the groups and stuff. Bernard, what do people got to do? They got to follow us?
Oh, got to subscribe and like. Definitely like, subscribe. Subscribe. If you could comment, that would help us out too. But at least subscribe.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll catch you all next time.